This is The John Michael Show, featuring original artists and music professionals from all around the world.
Hey.
I was just going to call you. I wasn't sure if I had it right.
How you doing?
Great, man. Rob Balducci, welcome to the John Michael Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Wow. What a setup you got there, huh?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, is the lighting okay? You could hear me?
Oh, yeah, dude, you're awesome. You got it.
All right.
True
Cool.
professional on the other side. I love it. So, hey, cheers to you, my friend.
Yeah, I have some. Cheers.
Yeah, great. Hey, welcome to the John Michael Show. I am so glad that you could join us. You're all the way now. You're from New York, correct?
I'm in Queens, New York.
Queens.
Yeah.
Well, that's even better. That's where all the kings are, in Queens.
Yeah.
So you are a world-renowned guitarist. I mean, just insane how much you've done with your life. It's just crazy.
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
want to congratulate you on all your success.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's a work in progress.
It's always a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
So you have how many albums out? You have like 8, 9?
Let's see. 6.
6.
Yeah. You got to realize, like, where I'm coming from is I was basically signed before the whole release your own record thing. I was signed to independent labels, and then three of the records were on. 3 of my albums were on. My second, third, and fourth were on Steve Vai's label, which is an independent label.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like they're knocking down your door saying we want a record in 6 months to a year, a new record. They leave it up to the artist, and so there's definitely a span of time between my records, but I think that's what makes, that's what makes it them better records, I think, because, you have to, for me, I have to live life to get inspiration to be able to write, especially, it's instrumental music. So with me, I still want it to be song orientated, and, if you write a record you start writing a record right after you finish one, you're in the same space. So it's not going to be different.
Right. Your mindset's the same. You're not on new tracks.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's funny. Wow. So what else you got going on? You have an album coming out, correct?
I have a new record that came out newest record came out in January of this year. Yeah.
And now is that on Spotify?
It's it's on all the digital stuff. It's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, whatever, all of them. And also I released it. I did do a physical CD because I'm old school. I like physical products, so I did CDs and I sell it. Those are only, you could buy those through my official website, which is robbalducci.com. And then, with those, I send like guitar picks, I send autographed pictures, little extra goodies to the people that buy the physical.
Great. Now, with you being in New York, how has COVID affected your business?
It's been, me on a personal level and my band, we still haven't really come out of it yet, to be honest with you. Yeah. I have a lot of friends that started touring and then had a couple of times where they thought it was safe and then they went out and they had to stop. Somebody in the crew got sick. Somebody in the band got sick, and then you got to cancel shows. You got to do this and that. So, we really haven't started our first outing since this has happened. So we kind of been I was hoping that I actually had this record ready to come out in 2021, and with everything that was going on, I was I was going to hold it, and then the new year came and I was like, you know what, I don't think it's going to make a difference. And I was, when you have new material, you want to get it out. So I was like, I'm not sitting on it anymore. So we released it, and I'm promoting it online, and I still haven't done it yet, because it was so many people were doing like the live streaming. So I kind of cooled out a little bit, and now I'm going to start getting into like doing off of my website, off of my social media, maybe like live feature me playing the live tracks from the new record, and then maybe like another time feature, songs from my last record, and make each one kind of a different thing, just to start to get back into it as my band starts to rehearse and we figure out like when we're going to do something.
Great. So you're also an endorser of some pedals, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see by some of the stuff, man, I've been collecting my since I still have some of my original pedals from when I'm a kid, and it's kind of a disease. It's a guitar player's disease. You want. Do you need it? My wife is like, do you really need another pedal? But
hey, do you need to go get your nails done, right?
I know. No. But I was lucky to get some really cool endorsements of companies that like, I was playing this. I was playing the stuff anyway, so the endorsement thing was the icing on the cake. So I mean, I got Morley pedals, wah-wahs I've been with for a long time. A really big pedal guy is Robert Keeley and Keeley Electronics. I've been with him for a long time. Who else do I got? Eventide since my first record, so that was like 1995.
Yeah, you can show us if you want to show us some of your stuff. That'd be great.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Well, I got so many. I'm a wah nut, so like here's some of the Morley stuff. So this is a Mark Tremonti wah. So it's a signature wah that he did. This is a wah that they came out with recently. It's called the Lock wah, and it's cool. It's a little bit smaller pedal board space, and it's got some really cool functions on it. Like the cool thing about the Morley wahs is that you don't press a button to turn it on. So you just place your foot on it and press down, and it automatically turns on. So you don't have to worry about clicking it while you're playing.
So there's a little micro switch in there to activate it.
And when you're recording too, like with the older wahs, if you want to if I want to put a wah on a certain phrase,
right,
you actually will hear the click, with an old like a wah that's not a Morley. And these for recording, I could put it on 2 notes if I want and just step on it. You don't hear no ignition or anything, so it's great. So I really like the Morley stuff. I've been with them for years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's see what this is on the new record a lot. This isn't a new release for Eventide, but a lot of people love this pedal. Let me get it out of my rig here. This is the Eventide H9 pedal, and I'm looking at my song list here. It's on the new record. It's on Tomorrow Never Comes. It's on The Presence. It's on Dying Breath. It's on Eternal. It's on In Between. This thing does so much stuff. So like I'll give you an example on some of the tracks. Like The Presence, there's this key kind of pad that in the background of the track, and that's really done with this. I was going to try and get without a keyboard to try and get a cool, just a bed of sound that's sort of reminiscent of a keyboard. And I just kind of fooled around with this thing. It has so many cool sounds. I found the preset that I liked. I tweaked it a little bit. Bam, it was on there. There's also a really cool solo break in a song called The In Between, which sounds like a keyboard. And that was done with this. They have a synth patch in here.
Really?
Yeah, so I combined that with Digitech whammy pedal, and you sort of get if the keyboard player's doing the lead and they have that knob that rolls it. I mean, it sounds so cool. I thought it was something different because, with guitar players, all guitar players, it's very easy to put on a song and it's time for the solo break, and we all kind of have our little cliches and places that we like to play, and maybe play the same licks and maybe in a different area. So you want to try and keep it fresh. So the song In Between is a heavy track, and you automatically think when the solo is going to come up that like I'm going to be shredding or something and ripping over it. And I was like, I mean, I could have did that, but to me it was sort of like boring. So I said, you know what, let me fool around with the Eventide and get a different sound going. And then I saw this synth thing, and it's sort of like, it puts your head in a different direction. And I think it's cool because I think people would, when you're hearing the song, you're expecting the lead break to be this crazy thing. And all of a sudden, like, you hear this crazy synth, weird bending thing going on. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, I'm into pedal. I think the cool thing about pedals is that it sparks like creative juices. You know what I mean? Like, especially if the pedal has a lot of stuff going on, it inspires you.
It's incredible how they can bend the frequencies.
Yeah.
And it's if you see, I'm a engineer type guy. So I mean, if you really study what they do and how they hold the frequencies and they turn them and they kind of twist them around, and with the coiling and stuff, it's just amazing,
Yeah.
And you get a guy like you who you know what you're doing with it. You've had many years of experience. You can make that. It's like you're talking to me.
Right. Yeah. Some of the stuff. There's you could really go into like some serious rabbit holes with some of this stuff. So I kind of like try to navigate it without reading like the 900-page instruction manual. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because some of it's like really crazy stuff now. With all this, so much stuff you could do now.
So how many pedals have you daisy chained together at one time? I mean, have you ever just like,
I've had a big,
what I can do?
I haven't done anything like that, but I've noticed over the years that my pedal board has it's actually getting smaller now, because it's like, you want to play and not have, you don't want a lot of things to go wrong. So to me, and it's cool because we kind of rehearse like that. Like when I do rehearsals with the band, we want to make it easy. It's not like we're bringing all my equipment. I bring my guitar, a couple of pedals, a wah, a delay, an overdrive, maybe a phaser, and then we plug into whatever in the studio, and I could play my set with just that. You know what I mean? So the other stuff is just sort of like, a little, spice, icing on the cake to have the other stuff in it. So I've noticed lately that like the least amount of stuff for me suits me better now. Less to worry about.
Less is more.
Something going wrong or something. Yeah.
Right.
So I like it.
That's awesome, man. So when you're not a guitarist, you're not rocking out. What do you do for fun? What do you do to just relax?
I like movies a lot.
Yeah.
So I've always been a movie buff. Even some, you got to realize, doing instrumental music, everyone kind of asks, what do you get the inspiration from? So the inspiration can come from anything. Like there's a song off, I just had this out the other day. This is Color of Light album that I have, and there's a song on here called Of the Earth, A Vampire's Love Story. And basically that was from the book Lestat from Anne Rice.
Oh, okay.
And then they made that movie out of it. So reading the book and then seeing the movie, sort of like, it kind of inspires you. So I get inspired by things like that. So that's why movies a lot of times, could bring up different emotions and then kind of spark something, in the creative juices,
Speaking of movies, did you get a chance to see the new Top Gun movie yet?
I did not. We're gonna see it. I want to see it.
I think a lot.
I heard it was great.
I think a lot of people are waiting for it to stream.
I know. This way you could do back to back.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I like movies. I like reading. I like I like used to, we recently moved like 2 years ago, and I feel bad because I didn't take them, but I was into rollerblading a lot. I like to get some exercise. So rollerblading, and lately I've been doing just because of the last couple of years, the way things have been, really just walking, and being out in fresh air and walking, and with walking, it kind of frees up your mind, and you can kind of concentrate on something. So whether it's, I'm thinking about how I was going to release the record or the song order, if you take a nice, an hour and a half walk, you get to really focus on what you're thinking about. So I do a lot of that.
Yeah, it's funny how just the simple, mindless things that you can do. I know this sounds silly, but for me, it's washing the dishes.
Yeah.
When I'm washing the dishes, I get ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like I'm kind of like lately, even like, be honest with you, I got to this thing where I was like cleaning like everything, like trying to get the studio clean and then cleaning the apartment. And for some reason, doing that, there's something about, like, I started to read this book on like it's about it's a Japanese author, and it's about basically getting rid of clutter and stuff like that. It's basically supposed to free up your mind.
Right.
So for some reason I got into that kind of thing where now, like, I like to clean everything and then play or something. So it kind of like, I don't know, I got into a habit, and I've been doing that too.
It's funny you say that, because that's the habit I got into. For a little bit time, I just kept spending all my time on the studio working and on the computer. And then finally one day I looked around, I'm like, Jesus, I'm a slob. And I cleaned the studio, and I felt better, and I felt more inspired to work.
Yeah. So that helps a lot.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So what else we got going on with you?
I got something interesting happening with a company. Now a lot of companies with there's a lot of guitar software stuff going on. So
Right.
I teamed up with this. It's an Italian company called Overloud, and they do a lot of stuff. But the part of the company I got involved with is guitar software, and they make this. It's called Overloud, and they model amps and all this kind of stuff, and it's a plug-in, or you could actually use it like through an iPad and actually use it live if you wanted to. So I really got introduced to their work through that amp if you see that amp in the back.
Yes.
That's a DV Mark multi-amp, and they teamed up with DV Mark to make that, and they kind of did the modeling in it. So I knew that I liked the sound of it. So when I was introduced to the plugin thing, I felt right at home because it sounded like the unit. So I was really excited about it, and we got to talking, and they made me do like a preset pack, which it's not released yet. Maybe we're in June. I would say July, end of July, August, it's going to come out, and it's going to be the Rob Balducci preset pack, and it's going to have, like, I went through each of my records, picked out a couple of tracks, and then matched the lead sounds and on some of the melody sounds or the chords, and I matched it, and so it's say the song is Ring of God, the preset for that is going to be Ring of God solo sound, and then the backing track of the thing will come with it, so the user can go and play to the song and stuff. So I'm excited about it.
So tell me about that process. How do you get from what you just said into their software? There's a process.
Yeah, well, I took it serious because, like, I'm a tone nut, and
Right.
So, like, for instance, let me think of a. So I'll bring up. I have this record out, so I'll bring it up. So one of the tracks that's going to be on there is a song off Color of Light. It's called Empress, which is, a lot of people really like that track. I play it live a lot. And so what I did was I went back to my original recording of it. It was done digitally. So I went back, opened up the track, and like soloed like if I was going for the lead part of it, I soloed it, figured out what kind of delay was on it, what kind of what the milliseconds were, and I got all this information. Then I opened up their software and picked an amp that sounded as much as I could like what was recorded with it, the delay, and then like I put the track on, the backing track, and I put the record in there, and then I put the software in there and played the second part of the solo, or played both, and then I kind of A-beat it, and I tried to get it as close as possible. I think I got really close.
It's quite a process then. So
Yeah.
you have to first of all, you have to learn the new software.
Right.
Understand exactly how that works, and then you had to that's cool.
Yeah.
So
And that's a cool thing about that's another thing, like the cool thing about the software is it's not like, and that's another thing that's why I liked it, I think, because the same thing with the multi-amp, which Overlab was part of, it's not crazy complicated. So like I was able to go in, and it wasn't really like a big learning curve or anything like that. So that's really good I think that's part of a plus of a software, because not everybody is going to want to go in and spend hours to get a sound.
Yeah, user friendly is very key. I mean, I've used some programs. It's almost like you have to write the algorithm sometimes, and it's like, Jesus,
I know.
Is it really worth it?
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So I mean, that'll be,
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that'll be on my, like, when it's out. I did some videos, like they're gonna make promos and stuff, but I'll make sure that I put it on my website, and I'll do it on all my social media and to advertise it and stuff.
Yeah, I'll have your website on the link description.
Thanks.
In the show. That'd be great.
Yeah, so that took a lot. The cool thing about that was, at least during the pandemic, I had stuff to work on. So that's one of the things I was working on to do. Great. So it kept me busy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So how long do you think it took you in time wise to get that made up?
It took me a while.
Months?
Yeah, definitely a couple of months. I mean,
yeah.
I asked them if there was I didn't want to be like the nutty professor, so I asked them if there was if they needed it like really fast, and they had their release schedules that they told me, and they said, listen, you don't have to take your time if that's what you want to do. So I knew I had the time, so I kind of didn't rush it, because you can get, if you do that too much, your ear kind of gets, if you're using it, just like anything else, if you're using your ears a lot, you kind of, after a couple of hours, you may not be really hearing the right way anymore. So I'd stop.
Right. You start hearing what you want to hear.
Right. And you kind of get fooled, and then you go back in later, and you're like, what the hell did I do?
What was I thinking? What is this? That's not what I was wanting to do.
Yeah. So it took some time. I was also, in the same time that was happening, I was actually mixing this album through the pandemic as well. So there was a lot of stuff going on.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think we covered all your stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanna talk about?
Well, I'd like to bring up people that know me know that I teach as well. So a lot of my off time I teach guitar. I've been teaching since I'm like 15 years old. So I mean, I do offer lessons, and it's off of my website. There's a thing there where you can email me. So if people are interested in learning stuff, and I'm not like, I don't do the type of lessons where students come to me and say, hey, I want to learn that Angus Young riff, and I want to learn this. I mean, you could get that off YouTube now, and you can get it off of anywhere. I like to help people with maybe if they need a technical thing that they need to work on, or a lot of the fun stuff lessons that I do is like people that need to want to be more creative, and they don't know how to write songs. They might be amazing players, but like they're not songwriters. So trying to squeeze the inspiration out of them, and helping them with exercises to help them write songs and stuff. Or someone's in like a rut, and they want to get something fresh. So because all guitar players look at the instrument differently. So when I teach, I'm learning off the students as well, because we all look it could be the same pentatonic scale, but they might see it in a different way, or finger it a different way, and you know, you can inspire somebody with just a different outlook.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. It's really nice to work with other people in the industry, or even just as a hobby, because of what you said, they see things differently and you were so focused on that one way, and
Right.
then bam, they open up a whole new world for you. You know, it doesn't matter how long you were playing. I mean, a 9-year-old
Right.
look at it differently and say, you're like, wow, you're
Yeah.
exactly right, kid.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, I mean that's you know, that's the magic, I think, of you know, we're talking about guitar, but I think anything musical, but the magic of the guitar is that that's the cool thing about it. I mean, you could have two people that have been playing for 20 years, both of them, and you can have another person that's playing a year, and they're all going to see things differently. And the 20-year guy that's a veteran sees the 9-year-old do something, he's going to differently, and they're going to pick up from each other. It's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, when I see a 9-year-old playing a guitar or younger than that, just ripping, and I'm like, here I am, a lot older, let's say. I can't even do half of that. I'm like, how does this happen? But, you know, I realize, and I've learned that the children minds don't have all the nonsense going on that as adults have to deal with. So they're able to be more open and learnable,
Right.
to what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's really inspirational to
Yeah,
watch a young person just take off with a talent.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely interesting. And I think, but you know, I think there's one thing about, I think I don't know, for me, like, I still feel like I'm, you know, the 13-year-old just got my first Distortion Plus Bach, you know, pedal, and I plug it in and like, you know, you're amazed at it. I mean, that's the great thing about guitar. I think music and guitar, it keeps you young, because I always go back to that my childhood bedroom where I first started playing, and
Right.
It keeps you fresh.
Right. Well, your dad's like freaking out, dude. What is that noise? You're killing me.
I know.
Oh. Hey, everybody. I'm John Michael, and this is Rob Balducci. And I want to thank everybody for coming on for being here. And I want to thank Rob Balducci again for joining us here on the John Michael Show.
No, thank you so much.
Man, you're awesome, dude.
Oh,
and
thank you.
We look forward to seeing Rob touring again as soon as this, whatever it is over. Or,
Yeah.
Craziness. So,
I know. Well, you know, hopefully, you know, I know you're based in Pennsylvania, so hopefully, you know, we do something in Pennsylvania. You know, we've done some cool shows at the Sellersville Theater, so I hope to maybe get back there. And there's a really cool club. It's a small club, but it's really a nice club. It's called Jamie's House of Music in Pennsylvania. That we've done a couple of things there. And it's got a really killer sound system. They just, over the pandemic, they redid the whole place. So we've been there, and he's been asking me, when am I coming back? So that'll definitely be on one of the more, you know, upcoming shows. If we do it, it's going to be over there. So I'll definitely let you know.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. I look forward to seeing you play.
That's great. Thank you.
All right, Rob Balducci, I'm John Michael, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday at 6 p.m.